Hey everybody, today I'm in Avon, Indiana on an absolutely beautiful day in Avon Town Hall Park. Just walking along one of the paths out here next to one of these fishing lakes that you can walk around fishing. And we're going to talk about Avon, Indiana just a little bit. And it's a suburb on the west side of Indianapolis, and just get into a little bit about what Avon's like and what it might be like to live here. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in a place like this, Avon, Indiana, or Indianapolis, or any of the surrounding metro, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video, each and every week. Now, we get reach outs from people all over the Indianapolis metro and all over the country with questions about places like Avon, Indiana, Indianapolis, or any of the surrounding metro. So if you're in the same boat and you have questions at all, then don't hesitate to reach out any way you know how, and we'll have your back with those questions. We'll also have your back with your move to the Indy Metro or within the Indy Metro. All right, everybody, so today I'm in Avon, Indiana, which is a suburb on the west side of Indianapolis, far west side, and it's kind of sandwiched in between Indianapolis to the east, Brownsburg to the north, and Plainfield to the south. And Avon is a popular place, although it's not a really big suburb. It's actually grown a little bit over the years. So in 2000, there was about 6,300 people or so, and in 2020, when this video is being made, close to 19,000 people. So decent growth for sure, but still not a really big place. And I'm in Avon Town Hall Park, and it's right along US 36, which is Rockville Road. And in fact, if anybody were to tell you how to get to Avon, then that's probably the direction they're going to tell you to go. So you're around 465, which is the loop around Indianapolis. They'll tell you to get off on Rockville Road, US 36, and go west, and you'll be in Avon. Now, US 36, Rockville Road, is probably one of the busiest, most crowded roads that you're going to find anywhere in the Indianapolis metro. There's a few other places I think might match it in exactly how commercial it is, how many chains, how many stores, department stores that you're going to have. Maybe Castleton on the north side, Greenwood on the south side, US 31 going through Greenwood. But if you were to go through there, you would think this is Avon. It is incredibly busy. But I'm here at this park, Avon Town Hall Park, and as you can see behind me, we've got a walking path that I'm on. It's just off US 36, and it's probably a good representation, at least I feel like, of what Avon has to offer somebody. So this park, from first glance, just off of Rockville Road, it doesn't look very big. You just kind of go into the parking lot and come up a little hill and you're there. But it's actually hiding almost 90 acres. I think it's about 83 acres or so just off of that parking lot, but you can't access it with your car. You actually have to walk, like I'm doing right now, on all these paved trails, and you're gonna find all kinds of stuff in here. You'll find paved trails, you'll find actually a couple of playgrounds, you'll find bocce ball court, ping pong tables that are permanently set up, fishing lakes like the one that is just off to my left over here that you can come in and fish. It actually has a remote control car track, an RC track, and they talk about it being the largest RC track in Hendricks County that's free. I don't know anything about remote control cars, but I guess that's a pretty big deal. But Avon, it's kind of a little bit of a hidden gem. I would say that this park is kind of a hidden gem too. It's just off, away from the hustle and bustle of US 36, Rockville Road. So Avon, I feel like, is a little bit that way. If you were to come in to Avon on Rockville Road, you'd think it's probably one of the busiest places in the entire city. But really, truly, if you live in Avon, you've got just about every single thing that you could possibly need or want right along Rockville Road. But then when you go off of Rockville Road, either to the south or to the north, which is mostly where Avon is, off to the north, honestly, there isn't much else. You've got churches and schools, things like that, but for the most part, it's just homes. It's just residences. You don't have sprawling shopping complexes. You don't have a whole lot of gathered shops for walkability or anything like that. So the people that live in Avon, or people wanting to move to Avon, they know this. And that's really one of the reasons that they moved to a place like this. Now, it was actually voted as the 17th best place to live in the country by Money Magazine in 2017. And there are all kinds of variables that go into a measurement for a ranking like that, but that was really kind of the one of the big ones, I would say, that would push it up there. And the fact that it's mostly residential, the quality of life here is really, really high. And when you live in Avon, other than Rockville Road, which feels like I said, one of the busiest places in the entire area around Indianapolis, it's just not very dense. It's not very crowded. In fact, the density outside of that particular area, but Avon in general, is about 1,000 people per square mile. Now, to put that into perspective, because it might not mean really all that much, New York City is about 28,000 people per square mile. Even if you get into Indianapolis, there's about 2,500 people per square mile. So it's more than twice as dense, even though Indianapolis doesn't really feel, for the most part, on average, all that crowded or all that dense. If you get to the north side, where you have some of the, and I'm walking up a hill here over on the disc golf course. They have an 18-hole disc golf course here as well. It's a little bit hilly. So you get up into the north side with some of the really popular suburbs like Carmel and Fishers. They're about 2,500 people per square mile. So they're definitely a lot more dense. So here in Avon, when you're looking for a place that is a little more spread out, a little slower, you still have Rockville Road. You got everything you could ever possibly want along that road, from grocery stores to a Target to a Walmart, whatever it is as far as your restaurants are concerned, it's all there. But you don't have to travel very far off of that to get away from it and feel like you don't live out in rural Indiana. Not at all. You still feel like you live connected in a community, but it's not exceptionally crowded. Avon is a great place for something like that. And the homes in Avon are nice. It's definitely, when you start going around Indianapolis, not one of the more expensive suburbs. In fact, the median home sale price is about $235,000. So you can actually get a decent sized home for roughly that price. Now, if you want something a little bigger, a little nicer, then yeah, you're gonna have to pay more. But when you compare it to some of the other suburbs around Indianapolis, where the median home sale price is $300,000 and over, if you get up into Zionsville, it's over $400,000. You get a lot more for your money in Avon. And in addition to that, the schools here are highly rated. On niche.com, they get an A, and it's not an overly large school corporation either. So at the high school, we're not talking about a gargantuan place where you can just get completely lost and it's so competitive that you really can't do anything. Avon is not like that at all. Very highly rated school system for sure, so it's one of the other positives about it. Now, if you were to choose to live in Avon, then the location on the far west side would have to work for you. So if you're wanting to be close to the airport, the international airport, it's a pretty good place for that, definitely. It's very close to the airport. Or you work anywhere on the west side or even downtown. Sometimes coming from this side of Indianapolis, the west side, it's a little bit easier to get into downtown than it is from some of the other locations all around Indianapolis. So for example, if you work at, let's say, any one of the distribution centers, there's a lot of warehouses, that sort of thing, just to the east of here and the south of here, near Plainfield, like for Amazon, Walmart, any of those places, then this could be a really good location, definitely. So Avon, Indiana, definitely a place I feel like is a bit overshadowed from time to time when it's compared to a lot of the other suburbs around Indianapolis. But Avon itself doesn't have a lot of glitz and glam, but it does have a lot to offer for somebody looking for a place that has a high quality of life, isn't terribly crowded, can get a lot of home for your money, and the location is pretty good as far as your job or whatever it is you want to be close to in Indianapolis. So if you have any questions about Avon, then be sure that you reach out, or any other questions for that matter about Indianapolis in general. And until the next one, we'll see you later.